Hello there everybody, Sabanai2 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Irae Amantes Amentes. So, how the hell do I summarize last episode? Besides it being a good amount of insanity at the first part, the second part involving Ren and Marie. First off, that was sad, but also very, very heartwarming. Second, yes, G-Ace, I could tell, like, this novel is kind of slightly teaching me, like, okay, this is a censored scene. Like, this novel is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna show you the ropes, here's how you're gonna do it. You're gonna be able to tell which one is a censored scene and which one's not. That's how it goes. Got it? Good. Let's get started. I don't know, but, other than that, fantastic. Just utterly fantastic. Anyway, after we finished our preparations and left the club, I asked Shiro a question that made him look at me with a disgusted expression.
エリーを生き返らす気はないのかって？生き返らすも何も、あいつ死んでねえよ。勝手に殺すな。だいたいそれを言うならお前だって。つうか、もういいや、めんどくせえ。
Last night, Shiro controlled the situation to make sure the priest could get away from us and act as he wanted. What I asked him just now was if he did so because he wished to bring Honjo back to life. That was my first assumption, and he shot it down with no hesitation. Apparently, I was too quick to assume the worst. Yeah, you hurt his feelings.
悪い。本庄、生きてるのか?
He's probably the gun.
ああ、失礼なやっちゃな、お前。
だから悪かったって。
Despite the fact that I didn't actually see her die or anything, the good news still surprised me. I shouldn't have asked something that serious based on my own preconceptions.
どっかに入院でもしてるのか? 病院はあれだから、お前らみたいなのがひいきにしてる闇医者とか、そういうののとこで。
ああ？まあ安全なとこで寝てるよ。全部型がついたら合わせっから。
そうか。
When everything would be settled, huh? Getting Honjo to join us seemed like a good idea. He probably wouldn't be too big on it. But celebrations were better with a larger crowd.
なあ、マリー。屋上での打ち上げは、本庄も入れて6人だ。いいだろう。
Hey, Marie. Why was she so spaced out?
シロ、彼女は。
オーケー、なんかわからんけど屋上だな。覚えとくよ。伝えとこ。やっぱあれかね。雰囲気出すなら、俺らも制服着た方がいいんかな。コスプレパーティーみたいになっちまうけど。
Marie knows.
なあ、マリーちゃん。制服持ってる？ないならエリーに調達頼むぞ。
I don't know, she seemed to be doing pretty well whenever she stole Kasumi's outfit, so...
それは平気。
Yeah, right there!
一応、かすみに借りてるの。勝手にだけど。
Well, at least she's honest enough to kind of point out that it is kind of without permission, so we're all good on that. At least she's honest. Marie's a good girl.
そう。じゃあいいか。あいつは家で寝てんだろ？
ああ。今はずっと寝ててほしいな。様子見に行きたいけど、俺らが近づいたら逆に危ない。
To be fair, yeah.
だな。あれはほっときゃいいだろ。下手に起こせば説教うるせえし。
Correct.
好き好んであれに何かするようなメリットも、あちらさんには全然ないしな。
Yep.
そういうことだ。
I had no objection to distancing ourselves from her, as it would likely be best for her safety. I'd have all the time in the world for her scolding when all this would be over. Honestly, it seemed like it could even result in something funny if Shiro got caught up in it as well.
じゃあ、あとは先輩だけか。
Yep.
うん。
and she's going through contractions. Yeah, and it was by far the most difficult thing to accomplish. Okay, not really not contractions, I'm just... Shut up, Sobata, just shut up.
お前復活したのは教会でだったんだろ？なんでその時？
気づかなかったんだよ。それどころじゃなかったし。つうか気づいててもあれは無理だ。あん時の俺があのガキ突破しようなんて真似してたら秒殺だろうぜ。今頃ここに立ってねえよ。
To be fair, this is Schreiber we're talking about.
ま、ブサイクなことになってんのは認めるさ。同じ場所に行って帰ってまた行って。縛らねえよな。自覚してるよ。
Shiro produced a self-mocking smile. I haven't seen Wolfgang Schreiber with my own eyes, but if this guy described him like that, he must have been a pretty big deal. And then you have Machina and Eleanor. Trying to invade the church they guarded was downright suicidal. We had to go there at our absolute best, being careful not to overlook even the most meager of potential problems.
お前回復したのか？
まあだいぶね。クラブで休むのは今の俺にとって効率がいいみたいだわ。
Yeah, must be nice having a body like that, huh? Rusalka was the one who claimed the bottomless pit, and since Shiro took her powers, the swastika there now had a positive effect on him. It wasn't something I could honestly be glad about, but the situation didn't allow me to make a fuss about it.
お前らは？
問題ない。
大丈夫。
We smiled as our gazes met. It was a somewhat embarrassing feeling, but we both felt fulfilled in mind and body alike. All we had to do now was clear up a few uncertain factors. We were about to have a serious fight, so I couldn't ignore the existence of people whose intentions were unknown to me. Shiro would probably laugh and tell me I was spineless, but...
途中公園に寄ろう。どうしても気になる。
Oh yeah, we gotta go check up on Sakurai and, Jubal Kane, see how they're doing. I couldn't help but wonder how Sakurai perceived this night. I had no intention of tiring myself out in a brawl with her, but I felt like she would be more manageable than the priest. With a better grasp on Sakurai's actions, we might get a clearer image of Valeria Trifa's plot. We entered the park with such intentions, but found no one there.
あいつ。
Yep. Where did she go? What was she doing, and where was Kane?
もしかして7番目を取りに行ったのか？
Maybe?
どうやってだよ。無理だろ。
Oh yeah? She was completely right. After all...
今の学校には誰もいないし。
Oh, okay.
タワーだってカンコドリが鳴いてるはずだぜ。
Hmm. It meant that neither of the remaining swastikas had any potential sacrifices in them. Due to the explosion at the hospital and the destruction of the theme park, the streets of Sudahara were nearly empty. From what we'd seen while making our way here, barely anyone was out just to have a good time. With it being midnight, the school was obviously barren, while the likelihood of the tower having a significant amount of people was definitely low. The only way to open a swastika was a fierce battle where the loser would become the sacrifice. Okay, if there's 2 more swastikas we gotta go take care of, then immediately my first thoughts on the people that are going to die there would have to be Sakurai and probably Tubal Cain. I'm not getting any hopes up about Sakurai living through this. I'm not getting any hopes up because it would probably get crushed. But that's my prediction right now. I kind of want to believe in Shiro, honestly, so I don't know. We and the priest had the common goal of rescuing Himuro, so there was no way Sakurai could open the 7th all by herself.
一体どういう？
I had a bad feeling about all this. I felt like we were overlooking something really important. That uneasiness spread out within my heart like a ripple. At the same time, the intricate and intertwining intentions of several individuals only amplified the sheer confusion surrounding our situation. The most notable part of it all was the Divine Vessel's craftiness. First off, the man never said that he would go to the church. What mattered most to him was that Ren would attack the place tonight, and create a situation which could possibly divert the eyes of the battalion commanders from Irae. Though the possibility was truly menial, he bet everything on it. It didn't even matter if they purposely let it happen. The priest only needed Rhea to leave the church on her own volition and move according to his design. His preparation had 2 layers. First, he spoke a certain nonsense to imprint a direct connection between Lisa's death and that place. And second, he told Isak to ask for the place he belonged to upon consuming his mother. Also, this was actually kind of brought up back in the previous routes. It was one of those details that I forgot to write down whenever I was taking my notes of stuff that I needed to remember. Yes, Isak's soul is the foundation of the castle, and I feel dumb that I feel really dumb about that. The plan to direct the Sonnenkind's course of action upon Lisa Brenner's death was 60 years old. That was why Validia Trifa was there. The school. If she were to cling to her shattered ordinary life, Rhea would surely be attracted to where the light of her days was brightest. It was a 2 birds with 1 stone situation for him. There was a certain truth unknown to Ren, Kay, and even Shiro, who had information from Rusalka. A shared secret between Validia Trifa and Lisa Brenner. He got Spine to investigate this existence and whereabouts of the other Sonnenkind, and when Trifa made him the first sacrifice, he became the only person to know about her. Indeed, the divine vessel's craftiness was a force to be reckoned with. Not a single soul could know that he had Kasumi Ayase at his side. It was an absolute victory by prediction, plotting, invitation, and escape. Indeed, absolute, for there existed a 3rd bird to be struck down by the same stone.
Ah, 待っていましたよ。レオンハルト。
Not only would he retake his position, but he would make the 7th swastika his own. Oh. Upon coming to the night-shrouded school rooftop and facing the priest, Kay couldn't suppress her bewilderment. She knew that the priest was luring her into a trap. When she found out he was here and not at the church, she was almost certain that he planned to open the 7th with her life. But...
なぜ彼女がそこにいるのです、ゲイか?
So he kidnapped Kasumi. Ayase Kasumi was lying on a bench behind the priest. Kay couldn't mistake her for anyone else. Why was she there? What was the meaning of her presence?
あなたには関係ないことですよ。旧友の名誉に関わることですから、ベラベラと語るわけにもいきません。
旧友？それはバビロンですか？
さて、それはともかく、よくここがわかりましたね。逃げ回るのは得意だと自負していた身なのですが。
The priest didn't answer Kay's question, and instead gave her one of his own. He clearly had no intention of telling her about it, implying that it would be a waste of time.
藤井さんたちまでこちらに来られては困りますからね。それ相応にこそこそと動きましたが、なぜ見つかってしまったのでしょう。誠に不思議だ。
もう、おとぼけはいいでしょう。
Indeed. After an annoyed sigh, Kay took out a mask of a pallid dark color and raised it into the moonlight. Hmm?
ほう、パリダモルス。
Wait, she took off. Wait. Okay, this implies one of 2 things. Either Tubal Cain finally bit the dust, so to speak, or she took its... Wait a minute. Wait, is she about to turn herself into the next Tubal Cain right here, right now? No, wait, this is... Okay. God damn it, my brain! Fucking brain! Stop it.
彼女が、いや彼ですか。教えてくれましたよ。あなたの匂いを。
今、カインはその中ですか？
That's right, I'm carrying my brother. Wait a minute. Is that Beatrice in there?
ええ、もともと他人の生異物。まともに使えなどしませんが。彼を御するという意味だけでなら話は別です。血族ですからね。出し入れくらいならできますよ。
Oh. Nice.
その上で問いたいゲイか。なぜ彼は 怒り狂っているのです。
Oh, I'm not going to tell you. Oh no. The mask of the corpse warrior, Lisa Brenner's Ananerbe, was slightly shaking within Kay's hand. Its owner's death made it crack and brought it close to shattering, yet it still continued humming with an ominous sound. That's a neat mask, by the way. Kay's hand was relatively steady, so it couldn't have been her causing the shaking. The mask itself, the thing inside it, was trembling with indignation.
正直抑えるのが辛いです。ここから出せ、殺させろと。あなたに対して彼は激高していますよ。まるで意味がわかりません。
Well, dear Kay, let me explain it to you in a very interesting way. I chose my words carefully and did things literally. So, I believe I pissed him off in that regard.
トバルカインはそれ単体では動けない。なぜ彼は地がめいたものを持ち、それがあなたに対する憎悪なのです。答えてください。
Trifa rubbed his chin and squinted his eyes, repeating Kay's words as if to confirm something.
なぜ彼は地がめいたものを持ち、彼ですか。それは彼女だからじゃないですか。
バビロンのプログラム云々なんて信じない。私にはわかる。これは彼だ。彼の心だ。私をバカにするな、セイさん。
Oh. The enraged shout sounded like a wail of sorrow, while the priest acted as arrogant as always. Kay no longer displayed any of the politeness she used to. The girl had never actually respected the man before. His character, disposition, voice, appearance, she hated, and was repulsed by everything about him. The only reason she acted courteous to him was because she was fully aware that those feelings of hers were unjustified. It was a mask she wore constantly, created by the oath, the rule, to keep her own fierce emotions in check.
なぜ彼があなたを憎悪している？あなたは彼に何をした？
ですから彼女だと言っているのに。
まだそんなことを。
Oh. Before she could finish her shout, she cut herself off with a reflexive gasp.
私が憎いですか、レオンハルト。
The divine vessel didn't display any changes, nor was he taking any particular actions, and yet...
憎悪結構。何かをなすにあたり、実に効率の良い燃料だ。愛などより、よほど真に足りる。
Oh boy.
ああ、わかりますよ。私も60年憎悪の虜だ。許せないのですよ。私自身のことを。
Valeria Trifa's demeanor had always been gentle, peaceful, and mild. That hadn't changed a bit, but Kay felt like there was something decisively different about him.
ゆえに罰。私は英語を苦しまねばならない。救いなどいらぬ。祝福は遠ざかっていけばいい。たった一人、どこまでも歩き続けるのだ。永遠に。あなたの、彼の、彼女の憎悪、断罪、笑死。私が科す私への罰、それに勝るものなどない。
It was evident that, just like Sakurai, Trifa wore a mask that crumbled as he spoke those words. He was displaying his true self, the side of him unknown to anyone else. The more Kay stared into the miasma of his true colors, the more absurd and ridiculous it seemed to become. She didn't get what the priest was saying, nor did she understand his goals. Although Kay felt no anger or bloodlust in the priest, merely standing in his presence was enough to make her nauseous, effectively proving just how rotten his craving truly was. Her sixth sense told her that the man before her was hopeless and broken beyond repair. The warped existence known as Valeria Trifa was terrifying beyond description. Trying to understand him would consume anyone, much like Babylon had been. What if the people Kay held dear were also... The next moment, she dashed towards the abomination standing before her.
言ったでしょう。生産杯は壊れない。
Oh. She attacked him with all the might she could muster. Although her panic robbed the strike of all its potential grace, the power and intent poured into it remained at their absolute peak. And yet...
あなたたちごときが万人集まってきたところで、私を断罪などできはしない。
He was unharmed. There wasn't a scratch on him. The indestructible divine vessel didn't even begin to crumble.
あなたは一体。
ただの負け犬。臆病者の末路ですよ。
Oh! The priest sent Kay flying by throwing the palm of his hand into her solar plexus.
私は強くなりたかった。
The girl stood on her knees and groaned while Trifa looked down on her, spread his hands to the side, and silently mumbled. His words weren't directed at anyone. They were a soliloquy of lament and penitence.
私は弱い。心も体も魂も矮小でくだらなく、程度の低い凡俗だ。なぜ失ってしまうのだろう。なぜ守ることができないのだろう。なぜ答えは自明だ。その希少さゆえに。人は持って生まれた器に従い、救い取れる絶対量が決まっている。私の手のひらで救えるものはあまりに少なく、またいともたやすく外圧で崩される。ではどうすればいい？こぼれ落ちた何がしかを己が未熟さを盾に見捨てるのか？それが神たる者のおぼし飯か？いいな、断じていいな。認めぬ、許さぬ。私は微塵も納得せぬ。
Okay.
強くなりたい。より大きく、より堅固な、絶対に壊されぬ器が欲しい。それさえあれば何度でも救ってみせよう。誰もこぼさぬ、見捨てはしない。私が知る最強にして完全なる器。生産杯は私の願いだ。永劫永遠に救い続けていくための。
And thus we have the madness of Lydia Trifa on full display.
永遠に償い続けるための。
Kay didn't understand what the priest was saying. Or rather, she could understand it, but felt like she had heard someone tell her that it was best if she didn't. There was something extremely off about what the man was saying.
あなたは何を救う気なのです。
無論、すべてを。
Kay realized that it was best to silence him as fast as she could.
己に問えと、私はあなたに言いました。
However, even a rotten most wasn't enough to halt his tongue.
愛しいものを取り返したい。その手に抱かれて抱きしめたい。ああ、実にそれこそ人間。何かを得るため、何かを切る。
The downward swing, the sideways slash, the gouging pierce. All of her attacks ended up repelled. Her enemy was only standing. There was no defensive technique to his posture, nor any viable weapons in his hands.
その選択に迷い、悩み、揺れに揺れ、苦しいほど葛藤する愛。愚劣さ、愚鈍さ、愚直さを信じ、崇めて、ひた走る。結果得られるバルハラは安息の日だまりでなければ意味がない。 修羅道の果てが地獄道など一体誰が認めるという。
He wasn't wrong. The girl wished for bliss within the sunshine, an eternity where she could laugh alongside those dear to her. Even if that bright dream was drowned in the black of blood, she still sought her own Valhalla. She would neither apologize nor look back. It was all a battle, a situation where everyone involved was putting their lives on the line in order to claim what their hearts desired. If Kay felt empathy for any of those she crushed on her march to victory, she would surely be defeated. As long as she wanted her wish granted, defeat was out of the option. Out of the question. Out of the question, I'm sorry. And yet, for reasons that eluded her, Kay's sword remained pitifully weak. Were her feelings lacking? Her resolution too brittle? No, that couldn't have been it. She had lost and discarded too much for her determination to waver. The life she chose, and the world she would never be a part of. As long as those most dear to her came back, she would no longer yearn for the ordinary life she still dreamt about.
胸に迫るほど理解できる。
Trifa seemed to imply that there was a great deal of difference between him and Kay. The girl couldn't even begin to understand what he meant. Both of them were vile scum, making their advance in the fields a slaughter for the sake of gaining what they had lost. At the very worst, they were completely equal to one another. Implying otherwise was wrong, plain and simple. In Kay's eyes, there were no ways in which he was superior to her. After countless attacks, Trifa finally moved to casually stop one of them, and silently whispered the ultimate difference, the insurmountable wall between him and his opponent.
己も救われようなどとたわけた夢を見てはいけない。
His voice was one that denied all salvation, a prayer to shun it. Valeria Trifa didn't allow himself to have any semblance of peace.
過去に失った思い人、その幸せを願う。結構素晴らしい。ならばなぜ純粋に彼らのことだけを思わない。自己愛から得られる祝福などありません。よろしいか、レオンハルト。あなたは彼らと共にある己の幸せを追っているだけだ。ならば鏡を抱擁でもすればよいだけでしょう。
Right then, Kay launched a kick into Trifa's stomach. However, her target didn't even flinch, causing the power to come back to her, pushing her away into a relatively convenient distance. The action made the priest look at her with pitying eyes.
己のみを愛してほしい。己のみが幸せになりたい。その自己愛性人格、否定できますまい。違う。
She wailed, trying to say that he was wrong, but
私は
別にことさら責めているわけではありません。人とは元来そういうものだ。
people always found happiness in the smiles of those they've loved. That was her motivation, as well as the reason why it all boiled down to selfishness. Was it really such a bad thing, though? Even if he said he wouldn't condemn her, was it truly something to be looked down upon?
あなたはあなた自身が救われるために死産欠我を駆け抜けた。顧みなさい。その身は血と絶望に汚れている。鏡を愛したあなたはそこに映った修羅しか得られない。帰ってくるのは今のあなたと全く同じ戦争の怪物だけだ。永劫に殺戮の地平をかけるエインフェリア。さしずめ、あなたはバルキュリアだな。それが救済と信じて愛しい騎士たちを終わらない戦争に駆り立てる。ハイドリ秘境のバルハラに召し上げ地獄につなぐ。要はそういうことですよ。私に言わせれば 救いようがない。
Kay was about to have a realization she refused to accept. His words were ominous and challenging to comprehend, yet too dangerous for her to ignore.
私は違う。ワルハラの流出など起こさせない。この器のみを頼りに不死創造という黄金だけをかすめ取り続けてみせましょう。アフビーダーゼル・レオンハルト。あなたもいずれ次かその次には救うと約束いたしますよ。
You know, Kay, this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and summon Triple King to saying that the stillness of the night began to hum and grumble. For the first time in a long while, the wicked saint took up an offensive form and reached for his blade. Kay remained still. The damage on her body was negligible, and though her mind was in a state of chaos, it wasn't beyond repair. However, her soul, the very core of her being, told her that any resistance would be futile. She was mesmerized by the overwhelming divinity of the object about to materialize before her eyes and strike her through. She couldn't even blink at the sight. Next to her, the pallid mask of death vibrated in an enraged manner, but the actions of the corpse warrior were completely sealed as long as Kay didn't free him. However, it was possible that the mask could break by itself and unleash his indignation. It would be too late. Nothing could save her now.
親愛なる白鳥よ。
Ah, my beloved dearest swan.
この角笛とこの剣と
He's
指
bringing
輪
it
を
out!
彼に与えたまえ。
Behold this horn, this sword, this ring, and bestow upon him all three.
Hi again! At that moment, an earnest shout shattered the frozen air of the space around them. Free of the binding majesty, Kay leapt backwards, took the mask, and distanced herself from him. That was too close. If Kay continued just blankly standing there, she would have certainly died. It was a premonition that left no room for doubt. After calming her heart, which raced like it was on the verge of bursting, she looked at her savior.
やめてよ。お願いだから。ここでそんなことしないで。
How the hell did you manage to make it here? Irae Himuro. Her presence confused Kay enough to forget the relief of survival. After all, the girl should have been locked up at the church.
これは予想より早かったですね、テレジア。一人ですか？
While Kay was bewildered, the priest wore his usual gentle smile. It didn't seem like he was the least bit surprised by Irae's intrusion.
藤井さんたちが随分と頑張ったのか。あるいは、まあいい。渡りに船とはこのことだ。できればこれを日に何度も使いたくないと思っていたところなのです。
え？
Oh. Oh! Rhea opened her eyes wide, while Kay became speechless. What Trifa was summoning was clearly his most powerful attack, yet he directed it at his beloved girl without a hint of hesitation.
この角笛は危険に際して救いをもたらし。
For the horn shall aid him in his time of need.
この剣は恐怖の修羅場で勝利を与えるものなれろ。
And the sword shall deliver unto him victory most fortuitous.
Kay had no idea what was happening around her. Was the priest actually planning to kill the girl?
この指輪はかつてお前を地獄と苦しみから救い出した。
But this ring shall serve to remind him of me.
The divinity increased, converged, and intensified in response to the continuation of his aria, forming and materializing something before his chest. No bluff, the priest was definitely aiming to launch his light towards Rhea. Kay instantly knew what she had to do. Trifa's motives, his words, and the many questions whirling within Sakurai's mind no longer mattered to her. If there was one thing she understood with absolute certainty, it was that she couldn't let Irae Himuro die. Hesitant for a few moments, Kay ultimately forced the thoughts about the possibility of her own death into the darkest corner of her mind. The most important thing for her to remember was the undeniable truth that the Sonin kind was invaluable to the transmutation of gold. That alone was an absolute that wouldn't move from the top of her priorities. So, dispelling all her unnecessary thoughts with a fierce cry, Kay began a suicidal charge towards the priest. She had to stop it, or else everything would be for naught. Her very instincts told her that the man's designs were too dangerous to be allowed to bear fruit. Kay rushed towards the priest and made an attempt to ruin the aim of his attack. It wasn't something that Rei Himuro could dodge by herself.
So Gottfried himself may know the name of he who freed you from torment and disgrace.
However, just like it was before Rei's arrival, even Kay's most powerful attacks were the epitome of futility when used against him. Triva looked less concerned than if he was shooing away a mosquito. He took all the blows without budging and didn't gain a single bruise on his body. As one would expect, no one could do anything to interfere with the spell he won.
To the realm of God.
His rule, his creation figment began to assert itself. The strongest being he knew, the vessel power he earnestly desired for the sake of saving everyone for all time to come, never once losing anything ever again. His very own world, birthed by a craving to become the golden beast himself.
Saw free, swan knight of gold.
And there it is! A raging blast scraped Kay's cheeks and shoulders as it lunged towards Rei. It was a torrential amalgam of shining golden light and divinity. The attack was far above and beyond Kay's common sense. Nothing could stop or prevent it. It was a divine weapon, the symbol of fate in the Obsidian Round Table, the legendary Lance of Longinus. Rei was left dumbfounded and stupefied when faced with its trail of golden light. She began to think that she was witnessing the final moments of her life. The girl wasn't averse to the notion of her own death. However, she had questions she wanted answered. There were too many things she didn't know, such as what was on his mind when... Her voice wasn't intense enough to be called a shout, not fervent enough to be a wish, and too insincere to be a prayer. It was nothing but a question, born of the confusion about what he was doing to her at that moment. Time fell to a speed below 100th of a second. Within a temporal frame, more meager than a moment, Rei and Trifa were able to hold a conversation, likely due to the absolute removal of all idle thoughts from their minds.
The lance, the surging beam of light, thundered through and rent the air, heading straight for the maiden's wound.
The searing gold spearhead was to strike the birth canal, sealing the one way leading to the castle. Even a momentary deprivation of her qualification as the Divine Mother would make the swastika choose another Sonin kind. The action could only work past the opening of the fifth. When the transmutation of gold went past the point of no return, it became susceptible to disorder. At that moment, Triva became certain of his victory. His ancient ambition would finally bear fruit.
くだらん。神父の強姦趣味か。呆れたものだ。
Oh, shit, it's Samuel. The sacred lance of certain death bent its light as if fearing its true owner. As the spearhead penetrated the floor, the beam following it neatly pierced the school building. As the attack wasn't released with an intent to destroy, the target wasn't blown away, yet its impact was still tremendous enough to make the surroundings reverberate with a sound as thunderous as actual lightning. However, the girls weren't surprised by the destructive power of the diverged attack. It was the very diversion itself, the bending of the light they thought was absolute, and the fact that the being responsible arrogantly and imposingly stood there, surrounded by echoes and dust.
Sup?
A particularly potent aroma of tobacco fumes filled the air as Rubedo, the Crimson Knightess, let her hair sway in the wind, her already warped face distorting with palpable displeasure. But then, the flame-adorning Irae raised a shout of exultation. Her very soul was trembling with joy at the idea of executing the treacherous fiend before her.
馬脚を表したな、ゲスが。熱気の剥げた貴様など、もはや一片の価値もない。
Oh boy.
分際を知れよ、レッド。貴様ごとき、どれだけ望もうとハイドリヒ教にはなれん。
Oh boy.
まあ、おそらくあなたはおいでになるだろうと思っていましたよ、ザミエル卿。
In response to the scorchingly cold verbal abuse, Trifa spoke an honest grumble. Even in such a situation, he was able to state that it was all within his design.
むしろ好都合だ。あなたでも、いいや、あなただからこそ私には勝てない。
ほざけ。貴様は知らんのだよ。
The air behind the Crimson Knightess dimly swayed like a heat haze, scaring her scorn. She voiced her ardent will to throw the insolent traitor into the deepest pits of despair.
チェス盤でしか物を測れん特学気取り。戦場の駒はマス目通りにしか動けぬものだと勝手に思っているのだ。敗因を教えてやる。
You know, shit tends to get about real whenever the red-hot Knightess suddenly shows up on the screen, you know?
貴様は戦士の何たるかを分かっていない。誰が一人で来たと言った？
Oh no. Did you bring Machina? Or maybe it was oh, maybe she brought in Schreiber. Trifa made the attempt on Himuro, and Schreiber did bring up that detail about how he would be there to protect her, so I don't know. I mean, the only other then again, Trifa did make up the whole, or not really make up, he did bring up that whole thing about how Machina is probably one of the only people that can actually damage the divine vessel. Trifa's checkmate was stopped by a castling, while Eleanor was the queen, not the piece meant for that role. Hence, there had to be another piece here. Specifically, a rook. A piece with invasive power, intense and unmatched. A moving fortress boasting the kind of invincibility that allowed it to crush anything within its path. His blow would checkmate the bishop. It's Machina!
例の小僧を餌にしたつもりだったのだ。
Eleanor put on a cold, indomitable smile as he materialized behind her, adorning hard iron and a somber will to fight.
共に英雄ならば全力でだ。今の我々が中するなら、それは貴様のごとき非戦のネズミがお似合いだということだよ。
That goddamn stare. Gotz von Belschingen, the iron-clad Negredo, wordlessly agreed with Rubedo's words.
Stop. I'm here to wreck your shit.
Indeed, heroes were to give their all, with absolutely no excess or deficiency and no feelings of obligation, only the clash of soul against soul upon the field of battle. Well, that would be his true final battle. The countless battles he had braved granted him an illusion of long-sought repose. Yet in his foolishness, he did not realize that the glory earned in victories past was but a herald summoning him to the next stage of bloodshed. He had enough. He wished for it to end. The crimson of blood, the white of bones, the black of charred flesh, the grey of spluttered entrails, the gleam of bayonets, the metal of bullets, the oscillation of the ground in the wake of an army of creaking tanks, the feculent smell of trenches. To escape them now, he had no choice but to embrace the carnage once more. There would be no end until he killed the him that desired repetition. Suddenly, the church exploded. Nani? Since it happened the very same moment Shiro and I entered the chapel, we were caught in the blast. The shockwave blew me away and made me roll on the pavement until I could properly look up at the church. Had the explosion happened a moment later, I would have been seriously injured, so making it out with only a few bruises was borderline miraculous. The delicate timing almost made it seem like it was intended to be of the exact power to have such a specific effect. The church was enemy territory, so I made my preparations by having Marie return to me. The explosion made me glad that I did. I couldn't have withstood it while also trying to protect someone else. That aside, the crackling of fire. Dumbfounded and confused by what had just happened, I looked up at the blazing building. They probably intended to preemptively attack us, but an explosion that big could hurt Himuro as well. Was this their idea of war? The hell were they thinking? What was the meaning behind this action? Shiro stood up, furrowing his brows as he muttered that reply. Despite the sour look on his face, he still sounded like he was enjoying the situation. However, this wasn't the time to get pissed at his demeanor. Also, holy shit, the crackling of the fire, my god. While defeating someone in an open swastika would be a huge plus for us, it wouldn't do any good for those psychos. So they avoided us by running away from here. Since the church had lost its function as a desirable battlefield, they simply blew it up as a display of their power. There was nothing more to it. Yeah. I couldn't help feeling we were led here when he gave us the convenient idea that our next battle would be in the church. Feeling completely played, I grinded my teeth when... As the church collapsed under the flames, a certain object rolled over to us. Covered in fire, the soccer ball-sized object faced us like it had a will of its own. Upon realizing what it was, I couldn't help but cover my mouth in shock. An unpleasant stench reached my nose. The smell of burning protein and fat. Releasing a low, sizzling sound, the familiar woman's face looked up at us with clouded eyes. Fuck! I heard that she died and knew it well, but the sight before me was just too much. I hated her as I would any enemy. While I certainly wasn't going to ridicule her death, I couldn't deny the feelings of relief that overcame me. She'd always been an obstacle for me to eliminate. However... Eleanor murdered Sister Lisa, while Schreiber killed Rusalka and Wilhelm. What's wrong with these bastards? What made them capable of such things? I didn't even want to. Bloody froth surged forth from Rusalka's mouth as I intently looked down at her still burning head. The witch's hideously scorched lips began to open and shut as they released a gurgling sound. Is she still alive? Alive? No, that wasn't the case. Rusalka was without a doubt dead, but someone else was using her mouth. Ugh. Basically, it was... Shit. This was a message, no mistaking it. Fuck! Like a broken radio, the broken body part began singing to us. Okay, I thought my brain suddenly just repeated the same word over. No, it's how the sentence is phrased. Okay, sorry. What was this song? I'd never heard the melody before, but it felt somewhat like a war chant.
The seething malice and blatant ridicule within the performance made it completely obvious that the other side was making fun of us. Soon enough, it gave me nausea and a crawling sensation akin to goose flesh. And it seemed like Shiro felt the same way.
Urusei.
He took out his pistol and silenced Rusalka's head by blowing it to bits. Although it was a gruesome thing to do, if he hadn't done it, I know I would have done something similar. That was how unpleasant the song was.
I don't know, I thought it sounded pretty good. Considering that was probably German, any of my German viewers, what was that song, if I might ask? I'm actually legitimately curious about this now.
こういうことするやつなんだよ。さすがに俺もマジ引くわ。
Congratulations, Schreiber, you succeeded in freaking disturbing Shiro.
Wolfgang Schreiber. This place was more than enough to prove that insane didn't even begin to describe him.
No shit! Also, just realized it's a girl and a boy's voice singing at the same time, I just realized.
The message wasn't even over. Rusalka's tongue, blown away from her head, wriggled like a leech and vibrated in accordance to the voice flowing out of it.
Why?
The grotesque sight left both me and Shiro at a loss for words. This guy was an unbelievable scumbag. The words he voiced were nothing but a song sung by a brat who hadn't even hit puberty. But it was by far the most repulsive song I'd ever heard come out of a child.
愛と欲望。そのためなら、たとえ火の中、水の中。はは、つまり無理も通るってことさ。いいかな。君は女心ってもんを少し勉強するべきだ。避けられてるのを自覚しなよ。
Ridiculing me, Schreiber's voice claimed that Timuro left this place just so she wouldn't meet me. Why? What reason was there for her to avoid me? The voice gave no answer to that question.
それでも追うかい？追ってくるかい？いいね。おいでよ。一緒に遊ぼう。二択だ。そんなに難しくない。今ならまだギリギリで間に合うかもしれないし、助けられるかもしれない。させないけどね。近寄ってきたら迎撃するよ。君らまだそんな程度でハイドリ秘境のエインフェリアに立ち向かおうなんて50年早い。さあどうするよ。命かけてきなよヘルト。クラフトの脚本通りなら僕らを殺せるんだろ。殺してみろよ。僕の頭が切り落とされて吹き出す血しぶきの音をこの耳に聞かせてくれ。ずっとずっと僕はずっとそれを待ってたんだ。最高の娯楽だ。
I'm not entirely sure if this counts as a self-destructive personality, but I mean, he's giving me the go-ahead, so...
共にバルハラで永遠に殺し合おう。ハイドリ秘境のベルトールで全てを覆い飲み込も
う。Just saying, you know?
逃がさないぞ君ら。だから来いよ。遊んでやる。僕はアルベド。5色の白で。
That was the limit of my patience.
空白の白だ。
Unable to bear it any longer, I sent the tongue flying by, slashing it with my right arm.
ついでに面白くねえの白だな。
Shiro released the oil from his Zippo lighter and burned the remaining flesh. With that, we finally ended the lunatic's long-winded speech. It was way too tiring on the mind, so good riddance. The guy definitely wasn't the kind for proper conversation. That aside...
で、どうするよ。
Offer the tiniest prayer for Rusalka, I guess.
決まってるだろ。
Not really, but damn, she still did not deserve that. Holy fuck. Himuro avoided me and refused to be saved, but I could tell it wasn't because she gave in to their power or anything like that. This little encounter with Schreiber's shenanigans made it easy for me to understand that she just didn't want us to face such insane bastards. It wasn't a guess born of conceit. I really believe that to be true.
あの電波先輩もあんな顔してけなげじゃねえの。いい女だな。
Hmm?
ああ、いい女だ。
And that was another reason why I couldn't let her die. It'd be a huge blow to my manly pride. Also, you gotta keep your promise to Marie. Don't want to forget that. That's your number one priority right now. Actually, saving her would be technically the number one priority, but that's a very high priority. Get this. Just remember that.
さっき二択って言ってたな。つうことは。
学校かタワーか。
Those are the only places she'd go in this situation. The school felt more likely, since going there would protect both of us and the city's population, while effectively attracting all the remaining bastards. It was our last chance to save her, and getting the wrong place would mean the end for us.
二手に分かれるか。
Let me guess. We split up, Shiro goes to the tower, and who's gonna be waiting for him? Wolfgang Schreiber! Shiro threw me the keys to his motorbike.
お前は学校に行けよ。俺はタワーだ。こうなれもうしょうがねえ。
Oh boy. Dividing our battle potential was a stupid idea, but we had to do it to make sure we didn't miss them. Being the thorough bunch they were, I could only assume this was part of their plot. I wordlessly nodded, then jumped on Shiro's motorbike.
こかすなよ。ちょっとそれにはジンクスがあってな。
Now you tell me?
夏にお前とバカスミ乗せて海行った帰りに事故ったんだわ。あれ以来酸欠はしないことにしてる。今のお前は実質二欠状態なんだから。それ以上誰も乗せるな。事故るぞマジで。
The worst part is, we can go drive over there to the school, pick up Himuro, and because technically, we got the 3 people, Shiro is basically saying, oh, by the way, even if you do pick up Himuro, you're gonna crash, so have fun with that.
ああ、そういや確かそんなこともあったな。
Shiro came out basically unharmed. However, now that I thought of it, the changes in his personality started right after that event.
でもそんなこと言ったら、ここに来るまでだって酸欠だろ。俺とお前とマリーで。
Wouldn't it technically be 4 people with... You know what? Never mind.
いいんだよそりゃ。とにかくお前は学校着くまで彼女以外のやつを乗せんなよ。ほら急げ。
I didn't understand his logic, but whatever. I had to rush it, so I couldn't spare a moment's thought for that.
じゃあシロ、無茶すんなよ。
アホか。今しなくていつすんだよ。
Telling Shiro not to overdo it. That's funny.
まあ、そりゃ確かに。
He couldn't have been more right. I gave him a bitter smile, set the motorbike to full throttle, and shouted loud enough to drown out the thunderous sound of the engine.
けど死ぬな。約束しろ。
ああ、先に死んだ方が負けだもんな。全部片付いた後の打ち上げ期待してるよ。面白いもん見せろ。あ
あ、お前も一発芸くらい考えとけよ。
We split up as I headed out towards the school, pedal to the metal. In my heart, I asked Himuro not to die or give up, to stay strong until we came and saved her. I knew she wouldn't believe me for a second, but Shiro and I just happened to be stubborn idiots who couldn't relax while being protected by women. There was also another reason why I felt like I had to go there. Couldn't describe it well, but it felt like someone was calling me. It was a powerful sensation on a completely different dimension to Schreiber's provocation. After all...
ねえ、さっきの気づいてる？
Marie materialized herself in the rear seat. I answered her question with a nod.
あの時。
The moment we entered the chapel, we were overwhelmed by a tremendous sensation coming from somewhere outside. I had no doubts that it was the reason why the church exploded. Wilhelm, Schreiber, Reinhard, Eleanor. I felt a number of menacing pressures these past few weeks. But that one was unlike any other. It was a pure, undistilled desire to do battle, a true warrior's unsullied intent to defeat his enemy.
うまく言えないけど、すごく真正面な感じだったよ。
だろうな。あれは。
There wasn't a hint of play in it, and though I could have said the same about Eleanor, her type was more puppet-like. To be a fighter wasn't necessarily the same as being a soldier.
絶対に小細工が効かない相手だ。策も損得も全部。
The only option was to face him head on, and he most certainly left no openings for potential flanking. I was even inclined to guess that he had been freed from the shackles of higher command. To put it frankly, he felt like an ultimate individualist, an iron tank that could only head forward. He was the rook, Nigrido, and if my instincts weren't failing me,
神父や四郎の鬼門だ。あいつらみたいなタイプはあれに勝てない。
じゃあ、レンは？
わからない。
even though I had to, I really didn't want to think about what would happen if I fought the somber knight. It was a really bizarre sensation. I felt as if the opposing cards would be ridiculously contradictory.
とにかく急ぐぞ。
We had to get to the school as soon as we could. That was probably where all the remaining fighters were gathered. A dreadful night of carnage would surely await us. The fact that Himuro avoided me spoke volumes about the level of danger lingering around her. However, that was the exact reason why it was such a great opportunity. Though I was probably unable to down them all at the same time, it could have been possible for me to take out at least one of the battalion commanders. I thought about it and considered the situation for a long while until...
ねえ、それで私たちはその人に勝てるの？
You can try. Marie gave me a question I just couldn't answer. Oh, fuck. Let's, I'm gonna need... no, I'm gonna need an entire episode to be able to unpack what's about to fucking go down here. I'm gonna need an entire episode for this one. Shit, I don't even know how to... I don't even have a good enough word for this one. Oh, boy. Okay, so let's unpack everything that just happened here. So, Trifa and Sakurai have themselves, well, it really wasn't so much of a fight. It was more or less Sakurai wailing against a brick wall. Because that's pretty much what Trifa is in comparison to a paperclip. And I feel bad comparing Sakurai to a paperclip, but if we're comparing the power level of Sakurai versus freaking Trifa, for God's sake. Well, actually, I guess it's better to say it's the divine vessel themselves, but that's not the point. So, Sakurai basically has Tubal Cain in the palm of her hand, quite literally. And she still hasn't brought him out. And Himuro shows up. Trifa's like, oh, by the way, I'm going to kill you. Bye-bye. And then, who decides to fucking show up immediately next? Fucking Crimson Knightess. Freaking Samiel has appeared. And then she drops the bomb. Oh, by the way, I didn't come alone. And then, boom! Machina! Holy shit! You know, I remember whenever I first started this, I made a comment about there being infighting in the group. You know what? I'm not even disappointed by this. And, okay. And on a less scary, but more a disturbing note, Schreiber apparently can use decapitated heads to talk to people and started singing a very eerie song that's piqued my curiosity. If it is an actual song, which is why I'm asking. And, oh boy. I can slightly predict what's going to happen. I mean, Schreiber has a bone to pick with Shiro. So, he's probably going to be going straight to the tower because he knows Shiro's going to be going there, while Ren is going to the school. I mean, unless it's going to really trick me, and then Shiro's going to be standing at the tower like, what the hell? Where the hell's my opponent? And Schreiber's just secretly tailing behind Ren on his own motorcycle like, mine's better. I don't know. But anyway, I'm gonna need an entire episode for this, for probably what's about to go down, so sorry that I'm kind of cliffhanging this on again. It's kind of my specialty at this point. But thank you all very much for watching. I apologize for the cliffhanging and I need a moment. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Holy, this novel is so damn good.
Hello there everybody, Sabato92 here, and if you like this video, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. And hey, if you guys like my content, then maybe you'd like to check out another channel who I think deserves equal attention. So click that nightmare emblem and check out that channel, or go to the links in the description down below. Once again, thank you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.